Hey everybody, Eric Ramori here, and welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm here with Calvin Becerra.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Did I pronounce that
perfect, Calvin
properly?
Becerra.
Calvin Becerra, and this guy is another of the $1 million a year earners, soon to be inducted into the Network Marketing Pro, brand new created Network Marketing Pro $1 Million Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
So congratulations on that. And today what we want to do is have a conversation with you, because I believe that success leaves clues.
Of course.
Success, the people who've gone before you that have had the success that you want to have, they have lessons that everybody can benefit from. So you've gone out there, and how long have you been involved in the profession?
Almost 13 years now.
Almost 13 years. How old are you?
I'm 37 years old.
37 years old. So you started when you were 24?
Yeah, almost 25 years old.
24, 25 years old. He's 37 now. He's an old veteran.
I'm not the kid anymore.
Not the kid anymore. Yes, you are. You're a kid. And over that period of time, he's built up. Give the big stats. Like
a couple 100,000 people, more than 90 countries, many $1 million earners in my business.
Yeah. How many people in your business are earning $1 million a year?
Let's think 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe close to 10.
Close to 10 people in his organization.
Yeah.
That's a legacy.
Yeah.
Because everybody that's earning $1 million is impacting a huge number of people in their organization. I want to get back to the beginning, but just in the general sense, so you know who you're talking to. How give me the trajectory of income over the course of the last 13 years.
I remember when I first started in network marketing. I knew nothing about network marketing at all. Came out of the real estate, mortgage banking industry. It was at the right time because it was like 2007 when the market was crashing in the United States. And I'm just a fast learner. A lot of it is because of my story, But in my first 8 months, I became the youngest millionaire in my first company. And then since that point, I've had a couple years where I had to learn a lot about network marketing, experience some things.
And when you say first company, what ended up happening is your company got acquired by another network marketing company.
Right.
So he's been with one company through this whole period of time, but this first growth spurt.
Exactly. And I've had to experience some things that most people don't expect in any business, but that's how you know you're an entrepreneur, when you can withstand that pressure and those circumstances. And so I took a fall in my income for a couple of years, and then I just built it up big. I was mentored by some important people in the business, in my company, and the industry, and I never looked back, and I just built it huge from that point, making over $1 million each and every year after that.
So
this last year was my biggest year. So
less and about how much this last year?
I think when I checked last night, it was $2,020,000.
$2,020,000 for a 12-month period of time. And this is, but in no way, it's not a claim that you're going to make this. It's not a promise. It's not anything other than just the realities of this particular situation. We're using this as a learning experience, not for somebody to try and make a decision.
This year, my income could be more or less, but the important thing is what I do with the money when I make it, how I invest it, because my investments also make me a ton of money each year too. So.
Sure. So you've been able to parlay that. How many years in a row have you made over $1 million? Do you think?
I would say maybe close to 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
So pretty amazing. 37 years old. 37, yeah?
Yeah, 37.
37 years old. So that's why you should listen to this guy, because obviously he knows what he's talking about. He jumped on an airplane, flew over here to Las Vegas to sit down with me in my home and share some ideas with you. So, Calvin, let's go back to the beginning. You had this big shot of success right out of the gate. I didn't have that. I had lots of struggles for my first 3 years. You had this big shot of success, but I'm sure that there's something in your background, growing up, your life experience, or something that had an impact on you.
Yes.
Maybe led you towards entrepreneurship. Maybe led you towards some of the decisions that you made and the fire that you have inside of you. Tell me your story. Where do you come from?
Yeah, in a way, you're right. That fast story that I talk about at the very beginning of my career, in a way, it does hurt me until I'm able to sit down with people and talk to them and explain them and explain to them that you never compare yourself to anyone else's story because you don't know their overall story. And I tell them it didn't take me 8 months to become a millionaire in network marketing. It took me 26 years, because I was 26 years at that time. And it started when I was just young. I grew up with a single mom, a twin brother, a little sister, and we grew up in Northern California in very poor communities. We're on welfare and food stamps and all those things. And my mom was trying to hold a job, let alone take care of us and put a roof over our head and clothes on our back and food in our stomachs. And at 8 years old, my brother and I, we decided we were going to help my mom, not be so stressed out. We were going to help her pay the bills. And we went out and just started door knocking and asking people, can we wash your car? Can we do some yard work? Can we help you with anything around your home? And we started building up trust within our community, and they had things for us to do every single day. And while the other kids were out playing on the baseball field or on the football field or wherever it was, we were just knocking on doors outside in the community, trying to earn money to make our mom more happy, to help her pay the bills. And as we got older, my mom always instilled in us big dreams, that we were one day, she would always tell everybody, one day my kids get older, they're going to go to college and they're going to buy me a house. All those things that would one day come true. And that's all we knew. And as we got older, we were about 15, 16 years old. We knew we couldn't go to the school where we lived because we would never get into a good university. And we needed to go to a good private school. And we found a private high school by the name of De La Salle High School in Northern California. And we didn't know how we didn't know if we would get in. We didn't know what you needed to get in, what these kids needed to do. We took a test, we passed the test, we got accepted. And I remember my mom was sad.
Really?
Because she couldn't afford to send us there. And we got accepted into that school, But my brother and I knew the value of hard work and what it can give to you because we were working at such a young age. So we decided we were going to work to go to that school. And we worked 3 jobs. And these companies didn't know we took 3 jobs. We timed it perfectly. We were janitors in the morning, okay? We'd go to school, do our homework and everything in the library or during the breaks. We'd go to our sports practice. And then we go to Exxon gas station where we were the shop boys. We cleaned up after the mechanics. We pumped gas, fixed flat tires, changed oil. And then after that, we clean up the shop and lock up the bay doors. And we go across that same parking lot to Applebee's restaurant where we were a host and we sat people. And every 2 weeks, each of these companies paid us, and we'd turn over the checks. We'd pay to the order of De La Salle High School, and we'd give them to the tuition department at our school, and we paid our way through high school. And because we paid for our school, we treated it like it was ours. Mm-hmm. We got the best grades, and we were the best athletes, and we received full ride scholarships to go to college in Southern California. That's how we ended up in Southern California. And we graduated college at the top of our class. We worked through college.
Before you go to the college story, I find your growing up story fascinating because you know the singer Adele, right?
Yeah.
I often think about what would have happened if she didn't break up with her boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of those greatest hit songs would never happen.
Yeah.
And the gift that you received from your mom is she didn't have the ability to give you opportunities. Mm-hmm. Here's the question. What would have happened to you and your brother's life if your mom was rich?
Yeah, no, that's why I tell people, I don't tell you this story so you can feel sorry for me, because you don't need to feel sorry for me, because I wouldn't change it anyway, because if those circumstances wouldn't have lined up with my life at that moment in time, I wouldn't be where I am today. The adversity, all the obstacles, all the challenges opened up doors for me that I would have never had before, that I was able to open myself.
Well, I mean, a friend of mine taught me a really important phrase that without resistance, there's no creativity.
Yeah. I have a speech I say called "Pressure Made Me."
Yeah, right. So you made this decision. Okay, I'm going to go out there and take charge and make my mom happy, and we're going to get accepted for this. We're going to try and get into this school to get greater opportunities, make our mom proud, and we're going to work our butts off. But doing all that created ownership, where other kids get their college paid for. Or they just take a loan that they'll deal with later, and then they don't treat it as school. They don't even finish or whatever. So I find it interesting that people's stories are made early in life sometimes, but they can be changed. And I think we're all a product of our story. So some people are faced with an obstacle that says, because of this, I can never have success. And another person would have that same obstacle and say, because of this, I had all the success.
Exactly.
So I just find it fascinating. I can't do it because I'm a single mom. I did it because I'm a single mom. So what do you think? Because there's other kids in your circumstance.
Oh, a ton of them, they're in jail or they're dead.
Well,
in the neighborhood I grew up in.
They created a different story for their lives. Maybe they either blamed.
They use it as an excuse.
Or they blamed, or like you said, that it was their reason why they didn't succeed, and you can't blame me because look where I grew up, or my parents never gave me an opportunity, or my dad wasn't around, or all different kinds of stories that they tell themselves. What do you think was the difference between you and them? Because there had to be.
I think because I grew up with them, and I grew up around their families, and I grew up around their grandparents.
Yeah, but they grew up with you.
Yeah, but
there's got to be some. There's got to be something that.
My mom always spoke positive things into my mindset. She told me where I was going, not where I was. And because she painted this vision for me of my future about buying her a house one day and graduating college and becoming successful, and I believed it. And I never ever heard anybody else's parents telling their kids that, where we grew up at least, in those neighborhoods, And, it was just, these kids would want to go out and play sports, and they would just go to the high school and then end up where they ended up, where I had these things I needed to accomplish that my mom told me I was going to accomplish. And so I followed through on every part of it. I mean, I think it's a big part of that.
It's interesting. I'm asking out of curiosity because truly, my instinct says, if your mom wasn't supportive of you, you still would have.
Maybe I don't know.
Who is the first person that says, we're going to go take charge? You or your brother?
Me.
Yeah. And if you didn't say that, do you think your brother would have?
I don't know. Yeah, still today, I'm always leading that charge, with him, or when we have ideas or those things. But I don't know.
Well, you kind of became the patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That male.
Yeah, there needed to be
role model.
Yeah, and also in our house we needed like my mom always said, someone needs to be the man of the house, And I always wanted to step in and be that person for my family, for my brother, for my sister. And also my life was about, because I grew up in less than good circumstances, I wanted to impress people outside of my community, impress my coaches, impress my teachers. Like even in network marketing, it's about impressing people in my upline, impressing the owners of my company. I want them to see that I have this incredible, impeccable work ethic, and no matter how much money I make, or no matter how big things get for me, I keep working. I'm always in the trenches. I'm always supporting my team. I'm the servant-driven leader. Like I guess, my whole life, I've always been empowered, to keep moving forward, to keep pushing the envelope, to keep doing better than everybody around me. I've always wanted to be the best.
All right. Well, let's
come. I think that instinct.
Yeah, it's look. Here's the reason why I ask is I'm fascinated that in many circumstances, and the people watching might know this or listening, the two kids can grow up in the same house with the same exact circumstance and go two completely different directions. Yeah. They can tell two different stories to themselves, right? So I'm always interested in what was the trigger, what made it happen, because some people think entrepreneurs are born and some entrepreneurs are made. I believe we're all born entrepreneurs, and some of us tell ourselves stories or have it beaten out of us by life, and we become an employee for somebody else over time. Yeah. So I just find it fascinating. So come back to your college.
We went to college, and then
Where'd
we graduated
you go?
at the. We went to the University of Laverne. It's a private university in Southern California, and we graduated with criminology and pre-law degrees there. And my brother and I started.
You gonna be cops?
Oh yeah, we were going to be police officers. So we were cadets for the Anaheim Police Department. My brother went off and was an officer for the Rialto Police Department.
You look like you could be. I could see you as like a police chief, some police sergeant or whatever.
I didn't grow up with my dad, and in a lot of ways I wish that I did have my dad in my life, my entire life. My parents were separated and kind of kept us away. But when we got to college, my dad was there, and he was in my life my entire. He's a role model for me. He's an incredible father for me. But he was a police officer, and so I wanted to have that relationship with my dad and become a police officer at that time and kind of do that. So more things you're probably thinking about right now. But we graduated. We started the Criminology Honor Society at our university, a chapter there, and we did big things at our university. University, graduated at the top of our class. And then after graduating, my brother went in that direction, but I still wanted this like lifestyle. I wanted more.
So your brother went into he became a police officer?
And then he saw me achieve this high amount of success in real estate with no cap, and at 22 years old, I made over $1 million in real estate.
That was when the mortgage boom was going crazy, right? Was it mortgage or real estate?
It was mortgage banking, yeah. But also,
that was when everything
you can do both though. I did real estate and mortgage.
Right.
So I just crushed it in that. I created all these great relationships. People were referring me, and I was making over $1 million a year easy in that. And it opened my brother's eyes to the opportunities. And he walked away from the police department and then went and started he's in real estate today, and he crushes it too, But he's my identical twin brother, right?
Oh,
so
wow.
crazy. And we did that. And in 2007, when the market crashed, I still had my business and my company, but I was working 10 times as hard to make less than half of what I used to. And a neighbor of mine introduced me to network marketing. And I've always been, open to opportunities. I've always been willing to listen. And over a few weeks of him just sharing with me, exposing me to the business and products in a few different ways, I went to a meeting and I saw people that were successful. And again, like I tell you, I like impressing people. I wanted to impress this guy to show him I could become successful in this too. And I did,
So you went after it.
And I went after it in network marketing, and I'm just telling you, I never looked back. And this is the only thing I ever want to do for the rest of my life. It's been able to give my kids this picture of entrepreneurship and creating your own life and living life on your own terms and passive income and traveling the world. And like, my kids don't know parents who have to go to work every single day. They only know parents who are taking them to school, picking them up, going to lunch with them, hanging out, planning vacations, doing their homework with them, practicing their sight words in the morning before they go to school,
Sure.
reading with them. It's cool. It's something I never had, but it's something that my kids have. And don't get me wrong, they're going to learn work ethic like I did. They're going to have chores. They're going to have all those things. I'm not going to give them everything. There was a movie that I watched, and in that movie, something I remember, it said, give your kids enough to do something with, not enough to do nothing with.
Yeah.
And I remember that always, and that's exactly what I want to give to my kids. I want them to be successful on their own as well, but know that I'm here to back them up,
Mm-hmm. So we've talked about a little bit of your initial story. Mm-hmm. Here's what I want to know. What makes you so special? I mean, because there's people who joined the same time you did and quit.
Yeah.
Other people joined the same time you did, haven't earned anything. Some people joined the same time you did, and when faced with adversity, they folded up. Other people joined when you did, and they hit a certain income level, and they stopped. They said, okay, I'm going to retire. They had $50,000 a year. They said, okay, I'm done. They hit $100,000 a year. They said, okay, I'm done. And they started dialing it in instead of, going to the next level. What's the secret sauce of the $1 million earner mind?
Man, for me, a lot of my life has been about loyalty, and commitment. So I've never quit anything I've done in my entire life. Not sports, not school, not anything like that. So I've always have that just ingrained in my mindset that I don't have to quit. I mean, I know that you mentioned people, attaining a certain amount of income or having a certain amount of success and then leaving and quitting, stopping, starting over, those types of things. I believe that when you quit and you go start something new, the same thing's going to eventually happen there. So might as well plant your feet, deep into the soil and plant your flag and cement it and be willing to relaunch your business at any time. I mean, in network marketing, companies always give us the opportunity to relaunch a new business, whether it's a new product, whether it's a new country opening, whether it's a rebrand or whatever it is. I always take advantage of those. But I think what's unique about me, and if you ask anybody on my team and any leader, is I always keep everything very simple. Okay.
Simple.
Most network marketing leaders, at least that I've seen on stage or at trainings, they always want to look like everything is so important and everything is so intricate and all these details and there's like a science behind it. With me, it's simple is better, because I want the new person who's sitting there to think I can do this. Yeah. And I want new guests who not on our team to think I can do this if I join as well. So I've always kept everything simple, and a lot of my leaders and my organization will tell you the same thing. Daniel Fire in his book, he speaks about it in there. Just the 5-step simple process. I teach people in order to have success in business. And it's always just 3 steps is just getting started the right way, enrolling, selecting your package, and activating your account through that monthly ordering, right? That's what creates the residual income. Those 3 steps are done in your first 15 minutes of joining any company, right? Steps 4 and 5, which is what I've learned from you, is find that fundamental building block in your company, right? Step one
That
through
core rank.
1 through 3, when they're done forever. The business after that, for the last 13 years of my life, making millions of dollars, has been about steps 4 and 5, okay? Creating that fundamental building block that turns on the commissions in your company. For me, it's executive. Okay, enrolling 2 people, activated, complete steps 1 through 3.
A core rank, I'll give you a definition if you're wondering what a core rank is, those who are listening or watching. It's a rank that can be achieved with a significant burst of energy in 30 to 60 days. It has some structure to it, usually somewhere in the 6 to 20 people on your team type of a number. And that building block, if you just focus on that, you can build enough bricks to build the whole building.
Man. And that's it. And that's all you focus on. If you can get started the right way, you never have to go back to those things. It's done. The residual income's turned on. That passive income machine is turned on.
So recap the first 3 again.
It's just
number 1.
Enroll. Okay.
Enroll.
Select your package.
Select your package, whatever the company offers for that.
And then activate your account with that monthly
Activate your
order.
account if there's some monthly
whether it's a product or a
continuity
service
program, if it's an auto ship or whatever it happens to be. Those are the first 3. And then
4 and 5 is step number 4 is to just turn on that commission, okay? And it's that first little level in your company. For me, it's executive. You bring in 2 people, okay? Turn on the commission so that way you prove everyone wrong. It does work. Network marketing works, okay?
Yeah.
Step number 5 is show those people how to do the same thing, okay? And now you've basically created what you've done yourself within your organization, and you just repeat those steps over and over and over again. As long as there are new people coming into your business, you're teaching those people how to turn on that income machine, and then you're going back to the beginning, back to your list, prospecting, inviting, sharing the plan, following up, signing them up, and you're starting all over. 4 and 5 are just done over and over and over and over again. That's all I.
So you've built your entire business on those 5
on those 5 steps, and still today we travel around the world and teach those 5 steps.
Did it ever get complicated for you, and then you came back to those 5?
Yeah, at the very beginning, because at the very beginning of my business, I kept it very, very simple, and the higher I got in network marketing, the higher my ranks I started to achieve. I started to rub shoulders with the higher leaders in the company, and I started to just get my mind filled with all these bigger fundamental philosophies and all these things, that I wanted to teach my people, and I started to lose them in the mix because we're normally just talking to those very beginning people. They're the ones who need to get trained up. They're the ones who want to earn money. They're the ones who want to build a big business. And we lose them in all those things when we just need to bring it back down to earth, keep those basic principles in front of them, that building block, the simple fundamentals, so they can just go practice those things. The rest come later. That's what I did. I started building a big business. The volume just started flowing in. And I thought because my business was getting so big, I had to be this professor now in the business, and that's where I lost volume and I lost people, and I had to go back to the beginning again and just stay there.
So this simplicity
is
is part of your secret sauce. Sounds easy, but as you grow an organization, how do you deal with it when people in your organization or leaders in your organization or newcomers in your organization start complicating it?
Sometimes you have to let them go their own way, because I know, a lot of times what I've noticed in my business is when people start to overcomplicate it and you start to tell them to bring it back in, some of them, they start developing their own egos in the business as they start to grow, So sometimes you got to let those people go off on their own and learn a little bit, stumble a little bit, fall down and get knocked around a little bit so they can come back and be like, I need to get back to what we were doing, And that's what I had to do at least, When I started getting just like those people we're talking about right now, I didn't want to listen to anybody. I thought I knew it all because I was having the success, that no one else was having. And then I had to experience losing people, losing volume, losing focus, and I had to just come back to the beginning. So sometimes I let them experience a little.
A stumble creates some humility sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
To be able to be open to learning, right? As long as you're open to learn, the smartest people in the world are people who are on top of their game and are still open to learn.
Yeah, and the best way I teach people anything is just by doing it, because they're watching you the entire time. It doesn't matter whether you think they're on their own doing their own thing. They're always watching the person that got them started or the people that helped them get to where they got to. And as long as they see me just keeping things simple and they see me continue to grow and grow, I win all the free trips, I'm earning the income, I'm being announced on stage, I'm winning the awards, they know what he's doing is right. I need to get back to doing that because I've stopped growing. So it's just leading by example. I continue need to do the same thing I teach, because I know if they stray off the path, eventually they're going to turn around and look back and be like, that's where I need to be.
So all roads lead to simplicity.
Yeah.
Your leadership style is to not be heavy-handed dictator, but lead by example. And if somebody strays, let them stray. Let them know that they're welcome to come back when they come back.
Yeah.
But you're not going to necessarily go over and edify whatever the complicated stuff is that they're doing.
Yeah, and because I'm a leader that's always in the trenches no matter what my income is, there are leaders in this industry who make a lot of money, but they're not working anymore. Okay?
Yeah, they're in a success coma. They're kissing babies and taking pictures.
Yeah. And they can do that. That's because they deserve and they earned it.
Yeah.
And just like I can. But I love working. That's the story of my life. I want to be in the trenches. I want people to appreciate that I'm working hard side by side with all of their new people. And I want them to appreciate that, so they want to stay with me, this entire journey.
What drives you?
It's always different for me since the beginning, At the beginning, it was about me getting my life back that I lost when the market crashed. But today, what drives me are my kids, and their futures. I want this business to be handed to them one day, just like it is now, but bigger. I want to hand it straight to them, but seeing them every day smile, seeing the life they're living, seeing how happy my wife is being a mom, not having to go to the hair salon and do hair and all that kind of stuff anymore, and just being able to live life, travel the world. Like, what drives me is just my kids being happy and them, having a future. I'm creating a legacy is what I'm doing here in my business, but my kids are what drive me.
Interesting. So, okay, we've heard about simplicity. We've heard about leading by example. You lead by example. That's one thing that separates you from others. We've talked about what drives you. What else makes you unique in your mind? What's your secret sauce?
It's very servant-driven.
Servant-driven.
Yeah, I'm always about, what can I do for you? Where can I go? When can I jump on a plane and go with your people? You don't even have to be there. I'll go in there and I'll work. I'll build with them. I'll do tours. Tell me the days. Tell me the places. I'll be there. I want my team to know that that this is really a networking business. Like, we're here to help each other. You go that way, I'll go this way, and help you grow your business. Servant-driven leadership is what it's really about for me. I love making people happy. I love impressing other people. I love people saying good things about me all around the world. I never want a bridge burned anywhere I go. I want people to think, man, like, when I did network marketing, there was this guy, that I built a huge business with, and he was always there for me. He was always traveling. He was selfless. He had this family, and they were supportive of him, and he was just traveling around for me and doing these things. And that's what I want to be known as, that servant-driven leader. When you're up on stage talking about it sometimes, as you have, and people are up there, I feel proud just knowing that I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
So being a servant-driven leader.
Well, you have been ever since I've known you. And it's funny, inside of our business sometimes, and I've talked about this a bit, people talk about haters.
Yeah.
Let your haters be your motivators, haterade, all that stuff. They talk about haters all the time. And I used to, I think we're pretty similar growing up.
Okay.
At the beginning, I was just say anything, just being scrappy, just finding a way to get out of my situation and into a better situation, having big dreams, right? And then my ambition was so strong that it was like, whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It was a little bit cutthroat. It was a little aggressive. And that's probably my least favorite stage of my professional career is that aggression just to get. And then I became a little bit of a fighter, where I read a book called Selling the Dream by Robert Kiyosaki. Not Robert Kiyosaki, Guy Kawasaki. Okay. Selling the Dream. He was Apple's chief evangelist way back in the day. And he said, in order to sell a dream, you have to have an enemy. And if you don't have an enemy, you don't have a cause, you don't have a mission. So I always had an enemy.
You made sure that enemy was right there.
I always had an enemy. I made other lines in my organization the enemy. I made the compensation plan, if it needed to be changed, the enemy. I made other companies the enemy. I made all different kinds of things. So I always had crisis and drama in my life, and winners and losers, and these little battles and skirmishes all the time. I was always in a fight. And I finally just got tired of it. Because at the beginning, I worked to prove somebody else wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to prove you wrong. And then second, I worked not to prove other people wrong, but to please others.
Okay.
Okay. And then I finally kind of graduated to just, no, I'm doing this for me. And if other people react, that's okay. If they don't react, that's okay. Okay. And ultimately, I moved into more of a contribution thing where I don't live for others, but contribution is my oxygen. That's awesome. Right? And here's what I realized. Jim Rohn, one of my heroes in personal development. And find somebody who says something bad about Jim Rohn.
I don't know anyone. I've never heard it, ever.
Right. I said, I want that. So I'm not going to pick fights. Jim Rohn didn't pick fights. He just lifted people up. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to pick fights. I'm just going to try and bring as much joy as I can everywhere I go. And I want to have that legacy when I'm 80 or 90 or 100 years old that can't find anybody say anything bad about him. So you don't have to have the haters in order to be able to go. Exactly. You can love the people who don't agree with you. And if you're a people pleaser like I was, you can use that fuel up front because it's useful.
Yes, it is.
To prove somebody wrong. But when you get into the contribution fuel, it's 10 times.
Okay.
It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fills you up and it pulls you instead of pushes you. Mm-hmm. And because when you're doing it for somebody else, if they don't react the right way, you don't feel satisfied. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're doing it to prove somebody else wrong, but they still argue with you, you don't feel satisfied.
It doesn't feel good.
You know, if you're doing it for somebody else's respect and they don't give you the respect, you don't feel satisfied. Or if you're doing it to please somebody else and they don't respond appropriately.
You're not fulfilled, no.
Yeah. But if you're doing it to contribute to other people and you're giving without keeping score,
yes, all
of a sudden you feel good, regardless of their reaction. So it's a little bit inner-driven. So this is more about you, but I wanted to kind of throw you that 2 cents because I find it interesting because I think your legacy, what I've heard about you, same thing. Nobody says anything bad about this guy. He's a hard worker. He's a giver.
Thank you.
You know, he's you can't out-friend this guy. You know, he's going to be a good friend to you. So let's talk about your career over these 13 years.
Okay.
I think we learn more from negative experiences than we do positive experiences, right? For whatever reason, you'd think we'd learn more from positive, but
the negative ones actually help my business out more because I'm more relatable to people within my organization, and I can always share a story because I've experienced it.
Yeah,
and it makes them feel better, like they're not alone.
Back to the simplicity.
I got to go through that to get to where you are.
You can relate to the groups. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, here's what I'd like to know.
Okay.
And this is beyond the fancy in front of the world type stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like you to be as authentic as you have, and you may have never even told the story that I'm going to ask you to tell. Okay?
Okay.
It may have never happened.
Okay.
Give me the worst day in your network marketing career.
Man, it happened fast.
The worst day, and what happened, and what did you do about it, and what did you learn?
Okay. The worst day in my career was still in my first year of network marketing. When I told you in 8 months, I created a huge, fast story in my business, became the youngest millionaire in my company. I was like I was at cloud 9, the top of the world, you know? Like I've achieved it. What I saw those people do on that video and all those things. And I remember my sponsor was like my hero, you know, because when I joined him, he'd only been in the business for 7 weeks and he crushed it too, you know? And one day, there was a knock on my door of my home, and I opened the door. Hey, what's up? You know, I'm not going to mention names. And I said, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Hey, Calvin, how you doing, man? Good. I said, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm leaving our company. And you're leaving? We just hit these huge ranks. You just doubled my rank, and man, like we're at the top of this company right now, and this thing is booming right now. Like so much momentum. It's crazy. It's like easy. It's like it's the simplest thing.
I remember, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but I'm going to start my own company. You know, one of those things, right? And he was brand new to network marketing, so he's thinking it must be that easy, you know, when it's not, obviously. Yeah. And I was thinking, man, we don't need to start our own company. Like it's already done here. Everything's perfect. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what. I'm leaving, and if you don't come with me, I'm taking your team with me, you know. And that's what he told me. And he had so much influence because I leveraged him, the guy, you know, the entire time. And I learned a lot from that lesson, by the way. Okay, and I leveraged the guy, and sure enough, he took my top people, you know, and those are my friends, which he said those are my friends because I introduced them to you, you know. And he took my people, do my business, like literally overnight, just dropped like from, I don't know how much it was, maybe $20-something thousand a week, all the way down to $1,500 a week. Like I like lost it all, and I didn't know what to do. Like within, I would say, like 4 weeks, just like, boom, just like that, all left, turned off everything, and they just followed this guy to this company that actually bankrupted itself within 7 months. And I remember I just met the girl that would become my wife, Shannon, and very good Christian person, always just put your faith in God, let go, let God, God's gonna handle everything, and there are some great mentors that you can just be connected to. And she picked up the phone and called a couple people that were not tied to me. One of them that was in a higher position in my upline, and said, you gotta come talk to Calvin, he might be following this guy out, and the guy's taking his team, and lucky I had those people around me at the right time. And I remember thinking, when that day that he left my house, I said, hey man, I said, you can leave this company, you could take my team, but you can't take me. I can rebuild this business. You don't know my story. I can rebuild this business. I could start from zero and I can get back to where I was, And I remember him walking away and me just saying these things to him, just hoping that it wasn't going to come true, which it came true. But I knew in my head that I would have to rebuild this thing again. And I remember meeting with a mentor that told me, he told me about, having a business that pays you while you're sleeping. Don't just build something here. Sponsor a team that looks like the world and watch your business just spread throughout the world. I remember telling my wife, I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, which is her, I said, I don't even know anybody outside of this country. And she said, but you will know. Just do what he teaches you. And literally within 2 years, it took me 2 years to get back to what I got to in 8 months. And I rebuilt my business. This time it was in more than 30 countries all around the world. And it was just bigger than it was before. And that was my worst day in network marketing. Literally my sponsor coming, telling me if I didn't leave, he was taking my team. And that's exactly what he did,
And
and most people would have left and followed.
Yeah, just out of fear.
Yeah, I stayed and rebuilt it from scratch, from zero. Rebuilt it. It took me more than twice as long to get back there, but I did it, and I never looked back. And that's what I'm remembered for a lot by these people, those mentors around me. He did it, and I remember him saying, anyone could build a network marketing business once and get to where you got to, but to lose it all and rebuild it again, those are legends. And I remember thinking, I'm going to impress this guy, a new guy. And I rebuilt my business again. And I remember he's still a friend to me today, and he always talks about that. And I've rebuilt my business a couple more times after that, but that never made me afraid, I always,
because adversity shows up from time to time.
And you could take my business away from me today, I'll rebuild it again and again and again, so.
Yeah, I went to Jerusalem, I don't know, probably 5 years ago. And we took this tour of Jerusalem. You ever been to Jerusalem?
To the Wailing Wall and all that stuff? Yeah.
You been there? It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Especially for me, growing up in the church and all that, seeing all those places for the first time in real life. Unbelievable. Right? But the tour guide, I was looking at all these walls, and the tour guide said all the walls, guess how many times the walls around Jerusalem have been rebuilt? Destroyed and rebuilt 17 times.
Wow.
Okay, 17.
Wow.
So the only piece that's original is that praying Western Wall, the Wailing Wall they call. The rest has been rebuilt and 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 rebuilt. No organization is permanent. There will be a pillar that falls here. There'll be a wall that falls there. You'll rebuild it. There's going to be a little seed of the team that you started with that's going to be just like that Western Wall.
Yep. You're right about that.
You know what I mean? So 50 years from now. But there's other pieces are going to be brand new. Other pieces it's still drying. The grout is still drying. Other pieces we're bringing in some bricks in order to be able to build because we got to build that piece. No organization's forever. Yeah. I think people have this illusion that in network marketing, even though it has passive capabilities and it has residual capabilities, nothing's forever.
Yes.
You have to continue to build and grow, reinforce, rebuild, because I'm sure other groups have left you over the course of 13 years.
Of course, but like you said, it's like when they paint the Golden Gate Bridge, once they finish, they start over again at the very beginning again,
Yeah.
What permanent income requires permanent commitment. Like that's why I'm always committed.
Yeah.
And you're right. There are organizations that have been with me forever, but then there are ones that go, but then there are new ones today that are starting.
Yeah.
And it just
so it's your job to have a long-term vision and continue to build.
Exactly.
Continue to help other people do the same thing. Interesting, fascinating. All right, I want to talk about some tactical stuff.
Okay.
Do you use social media in your business?
Yes, a lot of it.
And what percentage of the activity do you think is social media driven? If you took a look at a snapshot of your whole organization versus not social media driven, if you just guess a snapshot.
I would say like today,
Yeah.
it's probably almost all social media driven now today.
Yeah, like, but it's not events and you're face to face and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay, you mean driven? Yeah, yeah. I would say like, I would say still 50%.
50% at least.
Social media.
Okay, social media, and then you're using those social media for initial context and building rapport with people, maybe even higher percentage than that.
Yeah.
And then you're getting together with them face to face.
Yeah, like a lot of my, before, when I first started network marketing, like I told you, get to that $1 million level, I didn't even have a Facebook. Mm-hmm. One day, a friend of mine said, why don't you have a Facebook? I said, I haven't had time, I'm building my business. Just started, he set it up for me. Dude, from that day, I have had Facebook. I've had people that have changed my life just from international markets that have saw me on YouTube or video that my company did and they're like, I want you to be my sponsor, like still today. When we talk about social media, a lot of people try to make it seem like it's really, really easy, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're already a leader in a company and you're this $1 million earner, people are already looking for you. So of course you're gonna sign people on social media. You're gonna enroll people through social media. But if you're brand new, and you're starting and you just want to only use social media, you still got to get out there and meet people first to grow your name, to grow your business, to build up your brand a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then you start using social media because people already know your brand and they find you and now they see how you live your life. They see you in this complete picture and now they really want to join you. But most people that are brand new think, well, I'm going to join network marketing. I'm just going to do it all on social media and wonder why it's not working. But you got to go do the work that we put in first too.
Yep.
Go into the real world and get some real world experience meeting new people and going out there face to face and showing the plan and doing those things, and then you can use the social media.
How important are events?
Those are the most important. Promoting events all year long, like
live events in front of people is that more? If you had to rank two things, social media or that, which one is more valuable for your business? Events
are the most valuable. The live events are where people make the real decisions. Like that's where the energy goes into their body at those events. They can't watch it online. Like they can watch it online, they can get information and take notes, but really they don't have the same experience as the person with their butt in the seat at the event, hearing the sounds all around them in this complete, view. And getting the energy from the people, watching someone like you walk around through the aisles, touch someone on the shoulder, you change their life. Touch someone on the shoulder, you change their life. Being right there, like we're there, we're here. It's happening for us, It's only at those big events where people make the real decisions to treat this like a business, to go all in, not just treat it like a hobby, not just treat it like an additional income stream. Like this is what I'm going to do. This is my passion now. Those decisions are only made by people who go to events. So you put a huge push on this. This isn't just something that happens. That's it. You don't invite, you promote. When we get to step number 7 in GoPro, that is what we focus on. Like the business, your entire business in network marketing is building to that event. To that next event. To the next one. And then when you leave, it's about going to the next event. And when you leave, we're doing these things. We're building our team up, but what are we doing? We're promoting that next event. Why? Because we want all these people to get there so they make the decision. Your team is only as big as the amount of people at that event. It's not the amount of people that enrolled in between that event. You're going to get to see how big your team really is at that event. You're going to get to see who really wants it at that event. Who are you going to work with after this next event? It's those people who were there. Yeah. And that's what it's about, It's like, and you only know from experience it, from going it, from seeing the people in your organization's lives change, from seeing the decisions made. It's not just something that someone who's never been in an event can talk about as passionately as me. You got to have been to. I've never missed events since I started 13 years ago. Those are the fuel for my business. Like I get goosebumps when I see someone register for an event. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't understand what they just did for their life, and it's huge. Talk to me about tools. Do you use tools? I use tools. To share the opportunity. Of course. So in my business, we have our own, flip chart or PowerPoint or PDF presentation. I don't try to reinvent the wheel and create my own tools. Because I feel that that's going to confuse more people because you can't reach everybody in your organization. But at least if you're using that one tool your company already provided for you. What's working best right now? Is like a PowerPoint type thing? Is it video? Yeah, so Zoom. Mm-hmm. Okay, the Zoom app is perfect for showing the plan as many times as you want during the week. If you're doing a 90-day run, like I do, you've taught me about the 90-day run. That's why I do the 90dayrun.com. And on there, it's your build a list on there. It's your scripts on there. It's all Eric Worre on there. And then it's just empowering them through videos every few days, but making sure they're in the trenches working. But when we're out there building my network marketing business, it's about Zoom.
Yep.
Okay. And then it's about your company's PowerPoint presentation. So it's showing the plan, but also giving them more value than just that. So like we'll do like a lifestyle call once a week where we'll empower people because of what network marketing is giving to people who are saying yes to it, you know, and we'll share stories and stuff like that just to get them excited, people who are on the fence. We'll do a quick start training where I teach the 5 steps to building your business and then the 7 steps in GoPro. Just keep it simple. So we use GoPro as the book. That's the Bible of the business, right? So this is all you need to know. I don't need to teach you this high science of network marketing or these philosophical tactics or anything. It's GoPro. Read the book and then we're going to go over it together, highlight it. You're not going to read it once. You're going to read it over and over and over again. When they see my GoPro book, it's like teared and tattered. I have plenty copies of GoPro. I can get a brand new one everywhere I go to look professional, but I like that old one because they look at me and they look at that book and they're like, what is that? That's GoPro. Dang, that guy must have read it like over and over and over again. It's highlighted, it's underlined, there's different highlighters on it. The tops are folded because I'm doing certain videos on them, you know, like, man, GoPro is the book. That's where you learn network marketing. You learn the 7 steps. When people are having problems or they're talking about the business or they're frustrated, I always just refer back to a step. Hey, this is what you need to focus on. That creates duplication within any organization. Like that book, I feel like many people could have written, but you're the smartest guy in the world for doing it, and you just helped a ton of people make a lot of money in this business.
Well, it makes me happy. Makes me happy. If those of you who are watching, anybody doesn't have GoPro, you can go to freegoprobook.com, and if you pay shipping and handling, I think it's $7, $6 or $7, I'll send it anywhere in the world to you for free. So go to freegoprobook.com. I'll send it any place in the world for free, and you pay the shipping. I'll take care of the book.
And then outside of that, so you have your company just tool, that PowerPoint presentation, great. They always have their promotions, but you're always showing the plan during the week, right? And then from there, you're promoting your own company events because you got to promote the company so they can catch the vision of the founders and where the company's going, new promotions, the people who are winning in the company getting recognized.
You use Zoom a lot for
I use Zoom a lot.
How much?
At the very beginning of network marketing, it was in someone's home. But today, because of technology, people always want these shortcuts. They want to be like, send me the link so I can watch it. But it's real life. That's really what they want. And they can make a decision like that. And really they see, I can send out this link or I can get someone on Zoom. I'm on Zoom every Monday, every Wednesday, every Saturday, every Sunday. Like maybe 2 days a week where I'm like coaching soccer teams or doing something else, you know, but I'm still one-on-ones on my own. But there's a couple of days where people get to do stuff on their own or they're out doing their own Zooms. But still, I would say 4 days out of the week, I'm on Zoom doing something.
Got it.
Showing the plan, doing a
training. And your team's
doing
the same.
Doing the same thing. All around the world, they're doing their own Zooms. It starts with you. You're laying the foundation, and then finally the light bulb goes off with like, well, I'm going to do my own Zoom. Yep. Calvin's not doing on this day or this day. I'm going to start doing my own because you're empowering other people.
There's something that happens, and you know this. There's something that happens when you say the words.
Yeah.
Instead of just playing the video, you say the words.
Yeah, you say the words.
You talk about the company and the product and the compensation plan and the timing, the support that's available. You ask them to make the decision to get started. Yeah. You know what I mean? Something happens in you when you do that. Something happened in me when I finally learned how to do it. Instead of, at the beginning, I would just bring somebody in front of somebody else and let them do all the...
Same here.
Let them say the words. Same here. Right? But once I started saying the words for my team, and then I taught them how to do it, one way to really measure the quality of the leadership inside of your team is how many high-level presenters do you have?
Okay.
Think about that. How many do you think you have on your team?
A ton of them.
Yeah, but out of a couple 100,000, how many do you think you have that are just amazing? Yeah. You could put on stage and they would crush that presentation.
Yeah, out of that many, there's not that many when you think of it like that, right?
Right.
But I would probably say I would say maybe like a few hundred people.
Yeah. A couple hundred that are saying the words, but they're driving a couple 100,000. There's 1,000 for every one of those.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching, if you learn your company's presentation, you start doing those Zooms, you start doing those presentations, you'll impact 1,000. You just teach somebody else how to do that.
Right. For everybody who steps up like that, they impact another 1,000. It continues to grow and grow. So you're right.
So take that number from 200 to 1,000 with your next campaign. and your impact and your growth and your paycheck and their paychecks will go up, 500%.
That's crazy.
By just taking it from 200 to 1,000 people doing it. See what I'm saying?
See, I'm lucky I'm here today with you. Rubbing shoulders with Eric. We're here.
I'm telling you, it's a key concept.
The other huge thing for me is the GoPro event. Every single December around the new year, the Success Mastery recruiting event. That is huge. Like anybody who gets to that event, their lives are changed. Like they're going home and on their own now they're promoting that next event already. It started with me first. Obviously, you have Danny and Stefano also who built big, but for me, when it started for me, I bought 100 tickets.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm thinking, man, I got to buy another 100 tickets. I bought 100 tickets, and then from there, you have people who leave and they're like, no, I'm going to buy 100 tickets, or I'm going to buy 10 tickets. I'm buying 20 tickets. I'm buying 30 tickets, and all of a sudden it starts to grow. And now it's not just you buying all the tickets. Now you have all these independent people buying tickets for the next event because they know how it made their business change and them feel when they were there. And now from every year I've gone for the last 4 years, the number of attendance from people from my team has grown first in hundreds, and now this year it'll grow into the thousands. So it's like
it's a big vision
amazing,
builder.
But it's the opportunity to come to an event that's industry focused, but you get to hear people not just from your own company or biased about your own company, but you get to hear successful people across all companies, and you get to give the opportunity to your teammates to relate to somebody on that stage and feel like, if she did it, I can do it. If he did it, I can do it. I'm going to make this thing happen now. She just changed my life. He just changed my life. Like you've opened up the door for all network marketers now to be able to experience every top leader from every company in one place.
Yeah.
And no one's done that. So congratulations to you.
No, hey, it's super fun. I mean, in order to be able to create that and raise the tide together of the entire profession, it's an exciting thing to be able to do it. All right, well, we could go all day. And also, at the next GoPro Recruiting Mastery event this December, 4th through the 6th, you're going to be inducted into the Network
I'm excited
Marketing
about that. Thank you so much.
$1 Million Hall of Fame. So I'm excited for that. That's growing. That group, that elite group that is going to be inducted at that event is going to be a pretty large class, because we're just making the invitations now. So you're one of the first that we're putting in there.
Thank you.
The people who are watching this, they want success. They want big contribution. They want to create a legacy. They want to have income to be able to do more things in life, have more choices, give more to the causes that are important to them, take care of their families. I'd like you to just look into the camera and give them your advice. What advice would you have for them? They want this. They're hungry, just like you were hungry.
Same advice I give at the end of every event that I ever speak at, whether it's in front of my team, whether it's in front of a company or in any organization. It's always, don't just be the person sitting watching the video. Don't just be the person sitting in the seat watching the event going on. Be the person that takes everything in and then goes out into the world and applies it. Because most people sitting in those seats, most people watching this video like you are watching right now, they're gonna hear everything, they're gonna get inspired and motivated, but they're gonna do nothing about it. You can actually take advantage and apply everything you're learning, everything you ever see, everything you ever take in, and apply it into your life, apply it into the real world, and have the same results that we have. We're no different than you. We all have different stories, but I'm telling you, your story could start today, or maybe it started 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. All you have to do is just take the things that you learned, just like I have in every aspect of my life, and apply it. I've applied everything I've learned. I never just take it in for myself and keep it to myself. I go out there and apply it, and I share it, and it multiplies. You guys could do the same thing.
Calvin Becerra.
Thank you, Mr. Eric Worre.
Thank you for your contribution. I know your next chapter is going to be even greater than all the chapters you've had up until this point. I want to tell you I'm grateful for your contribution. I'm grateful for your friendship.
Thank you. Likewise.
And we're going to do some great things together in the future.
Let's do it. GoPro.
Ladies and gentlemen, network marketing isn't perfect, but it's better. Our wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have an awesome day. And if you're watching this, wherever there's comments, show this guy some love.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Hey, my name is Eric Worre, and if you're involved in the network marketing profession, I want to invite you to come to the Network Marketing Pro YouTube channel. Every week, we put out content on how you can become a network marketing professional. We have tips, ideas, strategies, interviews with million-dollar earners in the profession, interviews with global icons like Tony Robbins or Sir Richard Branson, lots of different things that we provide. They're absolutely free. Do yourself a favor, click on the link, subscribe to the YouTube channel, tell your friends to do the same, and I can't wait to see you there.